Hi James, this is Zach, and in this short video I'm going to show you the 6 critical issues with your website that are costing you money. By the end of the video, not only will you be able to identify the problems with your site, but I'm also going to give you some ideas about how you can fix them, so you can start earning more sales and profit. Alright, let's jump right in. So the first thing I noticed is that you have more of a brochure website than a website that really sells to people. What do I mean by that? Well, your site looks good and it provides basic information, but at the same time, it doesn't push visitors to take specific actions towards buying from you. It's informational like a brochure, but it doesn't sell them on your, Maureen's, your navigation boys. So if someone on your sales staff was given a really hot lead, for example, and all they did was hand them a brochure, stand back and wait for questions to be asked, you'd probably fire that salesperson pretty quickly because they wouldn't be trying to persuade the lead to become a customer. Well, currently your website's guilty of the same thing, but it can be a very valuable business tool when you come to view it as more of a kind of mini salesman in this way. So, right here on the homepage, you have a lot of information about the company, and, what you guys do. And then, on the product pages as well, if I just pick the first one here, you see there's a great deal of technical information and specifications, which is obviously important when you're selling business to business, for the trade to know that. But at the same time, people are really coming here because they want specific things. Like they have kind of emotional needs that need to be met. Whether it means, they want to save time by going with you, save money by going with you, or they need a particular boy for a particular function. So these are the concerns that they have. And, in order to sell to them, you need to address those concerns before you do anything else. So even here again, back on the homepage, instead of talking about listing all the different things that you do, try to investigate what some of the concerns are that people are going to be having and restructure that copy so that you speak to their needs directly. At the end of the day, your customers are going to be the ones who are going to be buying from you. So you should really try and address their needs before anything else. All right, following on from this, the second thing I noticed about the website is that you're not capturing the names and emails of visitors who may not be ready to buy from you now, but they will be at some point in the future. Now, this is a big one. When people see one of your ads like I did, or if they're referred to you by someone, what do you think they do first? Well, these days, the first thing that almost everyone does is to go online to check out what exactly a company is all about. That's why having a good website is so crucial. Now, a very small percentage of those prospects will be ready to buy on the spot, but a much larger percentage will still be interested, but they won't be ready to call you yet. They might feel like they need to know more about what you're offering, for example. The problem is, once they've left the site, if you haven't done a good enough job at answering their questions or found a way to stick in their minds, there's a high chance that when the time does come for them to buy, it won't be with you. Now, it doesn't have to be like that, because a lot of those prospects will actually be willing to give you their email addresses in exchange for useful information. And I know that as a company, you have a lot of that dotted around the site. So up here, for example, you have a whole download section with really interesting PDFs about all of your products and services. Now, instead of giving all of those away for free, you might package some of them up and offer them together with a strong call to action in exchange for prospects' email addresses. And once you have that, you can then begin marketing to those prospects over time on autopilot, so that now when they leave the site, you don't need to worry because you've started a relationship with them. By dripping them educational information, you'll nurture and build up trust with those prospects, so that when weeks or months down the line they're finally ready to pull the trigger, it is going to be with you. The thing is, you're already paying for a lot of traffic to come to the site with the ads you're running, so you should at least be ensuring you're not losing potential customers who might not be ready to buy from you just yet. Anyway, this is a massive missed opportunity for you right now. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that you don't use strong headlines to hook the interest of new visitors to your site. So right now, if I'm a new visitor, this is the headline I met with. Welcome to Hydrosphere UK Limited. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, that's a very weak headline. In fact, it's not a headline, it's just a title. It's factual. Now, that may not seem like such a bad thing, but with a lot of new visitors to websites, you literally have a few seconds to capture their attention, or else they'll go to the top of their browser, click the back button, and then you've lost them. If you don't believe me that this is happening, take a look at what's called the bounce rate in your analytics. Now, the way to avoid this is to use good headlines that jump out of the screen at you and create an itch that just has to be scratched. Think about the way that you read a newspaper. You don't dive straight into an article, but you skim across the headlines until you find one that catches your eye, and only then do you decide to keep reading. Well, I can assure you the same principle applies on the web. If your headlines aren't very customer oriented, if they don't make it immediately obvious to your visitors what the benefits are to choosing you over the competition, you will lose customers from that. So what I recommend is to devote some serious time to thinking up headlines that will hook the interest of new visitors and draw them into the rest of the sales copy. Because if you don't, then none of this is going to get read. This is critically important. Now, another thing I noticed about your site is that you're not currently making use of customer testimonials. Now, this is a really huge missed opportunity because using testimonials to build credibility and goodwill with your customers is an incredibly powerful tool to encourage them to buy from you. Not only does it humanize your sales message, but it also acts as a powerful form of social proof by having someone else do the bragging for you. Here's an example of a company that's doing this well. Now, obviously, they're selling kitchens, which is miles removed from what you're selling, but the principle again is the same here. You can see that they have got some really nice feedback that they're displaying front and center on their homepage. And by doing this, it allows new visitors to see that they've established a great relationship with their past customers, and so that they too will most likely be able to trust the company to deliver what they're looking for. My recommendation here is for you to email or call your happy customers and ask them for their honest opinion about doing business with you, because happy customers are really the best salespeople you have. You want to keep these testimonials short and sweet, then put them up on your homepage and all of the other major pages of your site. In case I haven't stressed it enough, testimonials are a really powerful way to convince prospects to do business with you. Okay, another thing I noticed about your site is that it's not mobile friendly. If anyone pulls it up on their mobile phone, they're just not going to get an optimal experience. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm bringing up your site, and as you can see, it's basically just a facsimile of the desktop version of your site, which may not seem like such a bad thing, but when it comes to usability, it really is. So, a user can't read anything, nothing's legible from the get-go. They'll have to do a lot of pinching and zooming and scrolling around and zooming out again. And it's just a pain. It's a real pain to have to keep zooming in and out. And it's one of the main differences you'll notice in a site that's designed for mobile. Now again, big deal you may be thinking. People can just use the desktop version of our site. Well, why make them go through the hassle when 67% of mobile users say that when they visit a site that's mobile friendly, they're more likely to buy its product or service as a result? What I would recommend to you here then would be to look at letting go of your current site and building another one that's mobile friendly, or to rewrite the code of your current site to optimize itself for mobile viewing automatically. Okay, James, the last issue I wanted to bring to your attention was your lack of strong calls to action. Since a lot of people are going to be visiting your site from all the advertising you're doing, it's important that you have strong calls to action dotted around that goad them into taking specific actions towards buying from you. Hopefully, if I've shown you anything by now, it's how valuable your site can be as a sales tool. And the art of any sale is the art of closing the deal. Whether that's setting an appointment, asking for an order, a phone call, everything else is either a stepping stone to that goal or else it's just window dressing. One of the cardinal errors I see all the time on websites is that they weave a brilliant story about their product or service and then they neglect to ask for the next step. So, looking at your site, there is a contact us button nestled right up here in the top right hand corner. And that's really not enough. What you want to have is a nice big phone number prominently displayed, which instills trust in new visitors and allows those who've been thinking about calling you to not think about it anymore and pick up the phone. As soon as you add to their cognitive load, as soon as they have to start looking around for anything, there's much greater likelihood they're not actually going to end up doing it. So you want the number, contact information brightly displayed on the homepage. And then on the product pages themselves, I have to give you some credit. You do have, the ability to actually download data sheets on these products, which is good because it is encouraging customers to take that next step in their relationship with you over here. But you need to put that a bit where it's more likely to be seen, right at the bottom of your pitch. And then again, you also want to have that contact us number here because a lot of people are going to be reading this and they'll have been seduced by it, and they may have some questions. And it goes back to that same point. If they have to start rooting around, then something may distract them. They may end up not being bothered. But if you make it really easy for them to know how to call you, then you're going to get a lot more calls and a lot more sales that way. Okay, so James, these were the 6 critical issues with your website that are costing you customers and money. I believe you're running a great business. Your ad is very well designed. I actually love the look of your site. It's very nice and modern. But because of the areas it falls down in, you're missing a great opportunity by not catering to those prospects who need just a bit more time or encouragement before purchasing. So now I'm going to give you your call to action. Call me now or use the online booking form below. If it isn't there, it'll be at the link on the letter I sent you, to schedule a no-commitment consultation with me, so I can explain in more detail how to fix these issues, as well as some others that I've spotted. Now, I normally charge £150 for this, but I really believe I can help you, so in this case, I'm offering it for free. And it is a no-commitment consultation. You don't have to use me to fix these issues, although I do believe I'm the best person for the job. So let's get a consultation on the calendar so that your website can start working more effectively and you can start building that sales funnel to earn more customers and profit. Go ahead and call me on 07401 996 959. James, it's been a pleasure making this video for you. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon.